Welcome to Watermark's Church Leadership Podcast, conversation with church leaders for church leaders, and I'm your host, John McGee. Well, hey friends, welcome back. Today I've got just a short episode for us, and I recently ran the New York City Marathon, or probably better said, I recently finished the New York City Marathon. So a friend of ours has a nonprofit that we ran with, and it's called Hope Story. You can look it up, really amazing ministry. So no, I did not qualify. Don't ask me how fast I am. You ask me how slow I am. But I sent that out to our family, said, hey, who wants to come run this with me? Does anybody want to run it with us? And my daughter-in-law, Lauren, did. So we went to New York City with the whole family and spent a couple days on the front end, day on the back end. Had an amazing time. Just really, all the kids were there. We ate some great pizza, some great meals. Weather was fantastic, and really just had a great weekend. So on race day, if you've not been to that race, if you're going to run one marathon, that's the one that I would recommend that you do. And it is quite a scene. So it takes about 3 hours just to get to the start line. You take a train, then you take the ferry to Staten Island, then take a bus, wait around, and then it is go time. And it's a really, really incredible race. And so you go through all the 5 boroughs of the city, and boy, the town just shows up, and they're cheering for you. There's loud music, people giving you food and candy bars and Gatorade, and in addition to that which was already just kind of scheduled as part of the race. And so it was, the race is fantastic. But running with my daughter-in-law, Lauren, was such a blast. And boy, she's so just full of joy, energy. She didn't complain one time. And it was her first marathon. And I said, hey, we're just going to try to finish this thing, with a smile on our face. And so we would run. We would stop occasionally. She's just a fantastic question asker. And so she would tee up a really good question, say, next time we stop, I want you to answer this. And I would reciprocate. And it was just really, as far as marathons go and 26 miles go, it was just a delightful experience. Our families were out there cheering us on. And, so over and over again, I just kept saying, hey, run your race. I'll be there with you. I'm going to finish with you. I told her she could leave me if she wanted, if I, kind of fell over in a puddle of tears and broken dreams. That was okay. She could keep running, but I wanted to run with her, help her finish. And we wanted to do so. We kept saying, we're going to finish with a smile on our face. So we ran the race, came into Central Park, and she had a kick. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to keep up with her. And we've got video. I didn't know this would be a thing, but they've got kind of video from the top of the finish line. And what happens is we cross, probably a big sigh of relief on my face, and Lauren was smiling. And she was so excited. And she had so much joy as she finished, in fact, that there's the video of her finishing has her jumping up and down, twirling around. She's twirling around. She's just run 26 miles. 26 miles. She's smiling. She's so happy, and she's twirling around. And we kind of, hugged, high five, and we walked out, which was really that. The next part was kind of depressing. They put a warming blanket on you. You have to walk, about half a mile, 3/4 of a mile out of the park. And so that part wasn't fun, but right across the finish line, just to watch the joy on Lauren's face. And it got me thinking both that night and the coming days about how we could finish our race with great joy. Like, what would that look like for you to finish the race with great joy? On this podcast, we've talked a lot about finishing. We've talked a lot about not disqualifying ourselves. So if you're going to run a race, one of the things you've got to do to finish is to not disqualify yourself. We've talked a lot about not quitting. So after COVID, just a lot of encouragement just to keep going. And so many of us are still really in the race. And but we haven't really talked a lot about, like, what would it look like to finish with great joy, but whatever it would be for us to come across the finish line when we're done with this one short life, and not just simply have gutted it out, but like Lauren, if God gives us that strength to be able to just kind of jump up and down and just have joy. So, I've thought just a few minutes about it. I'll share some of the things that I've thought, and I think a good question for you would be, what would it look like for me to not only finish, to not disqualify myself, not to quit, but to actually finish this race with joy. And we know that we can do hard things with joy. We know Hebrews 12:2, Jesus said, it was said of Jesus that for the joy set before him, he endured the cross. You can't have joy even in the midst of difficult things. You can actually choose joy in the middle of difficult things. But just some things for me that I was just kind of reflecting on to finish the race with joy would, number one, to be just to run my race, my own unique race. And I thought back to seminary. We would go to chapel multiple times a week and have lots of guest speakers. And it was amazing how so many times a guest speaker would come and start his message with, I've got the secret to ministry, to longevity in ministry, to effectiveness in ministry. And so I sat there for what it would have been probably 3.5 years, I guess. And everyone had a little bit different secret. There were so many things. And I remember writing them all down and coming to the realization that that was what worked for them. But I realized there was exactly zero chance I could do all of the things that those guys said that I should do, and that I was going to have to run my own race. So whatever that is, I take best learnings and best ideas from others, but not get so hung up in running someone else's race. If you're going to finish a marathon or finish this life with great joy, you're going to have to really run your own race. And I think part of that is going to be to focus on our strengths, whatever it is that we're good at, whatever the thing is that God gave us to do, just to lean into that, not worrying about the things that we're not great at or wishing that we were, but just run with everything that we have with our strengths. I think another one would be to run our own pace. And but if you want to finish with joy, you can't go too fast. And also, I don't think you'd want to walk a marathon. I don't know how much joy there would be in that, but there is a pace that is enough where it's hard, but not so much that it kills you. And I think in terms of just kind of my calendar and all the things that are on my to-do list, the things that I want to accomplish, just doing enough that it feels like I've got a really good pace. It's enough to stretch me, but it's not enough that puts me in a constant state of stress or that just it makes life too difficult or burdensome. But again, not so little that life is easy and boring. And I think to finish well, to finish with a spin with joy, it's going to be to kind of run at a pace that is a little bit of a push, but not so much that it would kill you. And so a question might just be, looking at your calendar, do you have enough on there, or do you have too much on there? What is a good, sustainable pace that is a push, but it's not going to kill you? Another one would be just to be faithful at each season and during each season. And so a marathon it's a long race, and you look back. What happens is you kind of look back in these, in New York, you go through each borough, and so you can look back and say, how did I do during that section, during that little season? And I think the same thing for me anyway, to have joy in this next season of ministry will mean that I was faithful during this one. I want to live with minimal regrets, and I want to be faithful during the season. And so just asking myself, hey, what would it look like, once I'm, metaphorically through this borough, to look back and go, that was actually a really, really good leg. And so another one is you just want to be in shape physically. Obviously, you want to have the ability to finish a marathon. And also for me, I just know that when I'm taking care of my body, when I'm working out, when I'm eating well, as it's interesting, after the marathon, I just ran 26 miles. We ate anything we wanted to, just gave ourselves permission to eat anything. And honestly, it kind of dampened some of the euphoria of the race, because I just felt so bad. And so we gave ourselves like a kind of a week to get it all out of our system, or in our system, I guess. And now I've kind of put that behind me. I'm eating like I normally would, beginning to work out, and it's amazing how much better I feel than I did right after that. So it's to finish well, to finish with joy. You're going to have to be, for me anyway, be in shape. And then, just a couple more. One, just having people to cheer for you. So we knew, with the technology, we knew where our family was going to be, and we would text and talk through our little AirPods and tell them what street we were crossing and what we wanted for a snack, and they were giving us high fives and cheering for us. And to do that, and to have someone who's going to stand there in the cold cheering you on, means they're going to have to like you. That you're going to have invested in that relationship, that you're going to have given something to them and expressed love in order to get it. And I think for us to finish with joy, sometimes those that are listening on this podcast, we get so focused on outcomes and accomplishing things, we can forget those closest to us. And I think the race is going to be a whole lot more fun. I think we'll finish with joy if we have people around us who love us, and that's going to take some time. That means we might have to do a little bit less at the office, pushing, kind of big balls down the field, in order just to have people that love us and that are cheering for us and that finish with us. And maybe even another one that's a close corollary, just making sure that all the relationships, all your working relationships, all your ministry relationships, or in this case, all your running relationships are intact, that there's not conflict that's being unaddressed. And so that's what made that day so amazing. I mean, it was so amazing because Lauren and I were just, as a team, we finished this thing and we encouraged each other and we made each other laugh and we told each other we were doing a great job. And in the workplace, sometimes we don't do the hard work to make sure that conflict is addressed. And that, I can tell you, that marathon would have been anything but fun had Lauren and I had conflict. If we were frustrated with each other, we wouldn't have finished together. We would have split up. We wouldn't have cheered for each other. We, would have taken a different posture. But because we were so for each other, there was no conflict. It was amazing. And some of the people that I know that have finished well have had really, really, really healthy ministry relationships. And some of the people that I know that finished really embittered or with no joy, oftentimes it was because the relationships in the workplace or in ministry or in the church. And make sure, friends, that you just tend to those so that it's a joy, so that as you run, you're doing so with people that you love, people that you know, that you trust, and people that you don't have any conflict with as far as it depends upon you. Live at peace with all men. So, friends, those are some of the things that I was thinking about today on the heels of that race, watching my daughter-in-law, again, just spin with joy as she finished. And I really do want that for you. And many of us, a lot of times we do a screw tape letter. If you know C.S. Lewis's book, and actually you can go to ChatGPT and tell it all about you and ask it to write you a screw tape letter. Basically, if you were to shipwreck your life, what would that look like? That's kind of been done. But I wonder, to the positive side, could you do the same thing for your own life? What would it look like to not only finish, but to finish with great joy? There's probably one or two tweaks you could make today that would make that possible. And I hope, friends, that you do. I hope that we can all finish with great joy, whatever it would be for us to spin around, pump our hands up in the air, have a big smile on our face with people that we love. I would want that for you. And I hope something here will give you just a little nudge to make a tweak, to not only just grind it out, to gut it out, to be faithful, which there will be seasons, but I hope we can finish with great joy. So, friends, if you got any ideas about how to do so, I would love to hear from you. Or if you have any questions or comments for next episodes, you can always reach us at clp@watermark.org. That's clp@watermark.org. We'll talk to you again next time.